Hi everyone, Angela here. In this video, I'll show you how to make my newest design. This little pineapple pouch is quilted with a clasp, has a side zipper, and is fully lined. It'll easily fit your AirPods headphones, your AirPods Pro, and of course you can use it as a little money pouch or coin purse. Links for all the tools I use and my PDF patterns can be found in the description below. For this project, I'm using a yellow print quilting cotton. Cut one of the rectangular pattern piece and don't include any of the selvage edge. For the quilting, I'm using iron-on batting with the glue dots on the back. You can also use just regular cotton batting. Again, using the rectangular pattern piece, cut one out of batting. Use a vanishing ink pen to make a mark 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters to the right of the bottom left-hand corner, and also mark 3/4 of an inch above the corner. Join those two marks, and then draw a line squared off from that top mark. To create a grid pattern on the fabric from these two lines, draw parallel lines that are 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters apart. You can skip this step if you have a quilt line attachment for your machine. Mark the bottom left corner where we started with a tiny little cut. With the glue side of the batting facing up, place the wrong side of the fabric on top, and then press together. If you want to add a clasp to your pouch, there's a pattern piece for a 3/4 inch or 20 millimeter loop, and also a pattern piece for a 1/2 inch or 12 millimeter loop. Cut your loop out of fabric, or you can use cotton tape or ribbon for your loop. With the loop wrong side up, fold the longer edges in half and crease down the middle. Bring the outer edges to that center crease, and then fold it in half again, matching the outer folds. And then give it a press. On the pineapple body pattern piece, cut out the small notches at the top and bottom edge using a notcher or a pair of paper scissors. For the lining, I'm also using quilting cotton. Fold fabric with right sides together, trace around the pattern, and also mark out the notches. Pin the layers together and then cut out the little notches at the top and bottom. For the pineapple crown or leaves, I'm using stiffened felt. I find regular craft felt is too soft and doesn't have enough body. Carefully trace the two crown pieces onto the felt, and then cut out along the inside of the lines. Don't cut on the outside of the lines as they'll be too big. Place the front piece on top of the back piece and center it along the bottom edge. On the front piece, draw a line from the corner up to the center and then back down to the other corner. I'll be using the Brother NV50S sewing machine. It's exclusive to Echidna Sewing here in Australia. You can also find a link for this down in the video description. To quilt the fabric with the batting, start at one corner and stitch on top of the lines. There's no need to back tack or back stitch, just stitch past the edge of the fabric, lift your presser foot, and turn your fabric around. Next, edge stitch the long sides of your loop about 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters from the edge. Then trim all of your threads. Today I'm using these snippers also from Echidna Sewing. They've got really sharp blades with these fantastic points on them. Change to green thread and again place the front crown on top of the back crown and stitch together along the line that was drawn, pivoting at the center point. Insert the loop through the clasp, fold, and match the ends. Line up these ends onto the back of the crown, and then just move the loop over slightly to the left. You'll find that when you sew this thickness, the presser foot may push the loop towards you. Stitch all together 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeters from the edge. On this wider loop, there should only be a little bit of green on either side of the stitch line. You can trim a little bit of the felt if you need to. Next, fold the pineapple pattern vertically at the notches and make a crease. Open it up and then put the notches together and crease down the center. Mark where the creases meet on both sides. Position the quilted fabric so that the cutout corner is at the bottom on the left. Place the pattern down so that that center mark is in the center of one of the squares and the corner at the bottom of the pattern is on the right. Trace around and mark both notches. Flip the pattern over, repeat, and then cut out both pieces. If you're finding this video helpful, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, and also leave a comment below. You'll need a regular nylon zipper that's 6 inches or longer. This is so that it's easier to sew and the metal ends won't be part of the pouch. The zipper is attached to the side with the corner at the bottom. Change to yellow thread and also change to a zipper foot by attaching it on the left side. The needle position is too far over on the left, so we need to adjust it so it's closer to the center of the foot. Set the stitch width to 4 so that the needle position will go down right beside the center of the foot. First, grab the piece with the corner at the bottom on the right hand side. Open the zipper and turn it around so that right sides are together. Match the outer edges and position the zipper so that the top metal piece is about 1/2 inch above the top edge. Stitch with the right side of the zipper foot lined up with the outer edges. Back tack at the start and finish. If you have trouble lining up the zipper tape on the curve, you can make tiny little cuts along the edge about 1/2 inch apart. This will help lay the tape flatter along the curve. You can see the zipper teeth are well away from the seam. Close the zipper and then fold the zipper in half, matching the outer edges. Place the other fabric piece on top, right sides together. Match the top edges and also the sides. Clip or pin the zipper in place. Repeat at the bottom, matching all your edges, but this time clip or pin about 3/4 inch or 2 centimeters from the bottom edge. It'll be out of your way when you start sewing. Open up the zipper and stitch together, back tacking at the start and finish. Check that the top and bottom edges are even and adjust it if you need to. Place the matching lining piece on top with right sides together and stitch along the zipper again for both sides. Next, open up the lining so that all of the seam allowances on the back are facing right. We'll now do an edge stitch along the lining. Line up the left side of the foot with the seam and pull both sides of the fabric really taut while stitching. This stitching will help keep the zipper pull from catching the fabric on the inside. Change back to a regular presser foot and set your stitch width back to 0. Place the front of the crown onto the front of the pineapple with the zipper on the right side. Center the edge of the crown onto the notch, making sure it's nice and straight and not crooked. There should be a little bit of space between the edge of the crown and the seam. Then use a 1/4 inch seam allowance to stitch in place. Lift the loop up to check that it's even and straight. Close the zipper about halfway and then put the right sides of the quilted fabric together and the right sides of the lining together. Make sure you can see the stitching at the top edge. On the lining side, we need to leave a little opening. Mark an opening about 2.5 to 3 inches wide. Next, fold your zipper in half so that the teeth are facing towards the right side. Then put a pin through all the layers. Then place a pin or a clip at that first mark, and then another pin or clip on the corner of the lining. Adjust the top of the zippers so that the teeth are facing towards the right side, and again, place a pin through all the layers. Fold the sides of the crown towards the center and out of the way. Match the top and side edges and clip all around. Stitch from this mark all around to the other mark, leaving that opening. Use a 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter seam allowance, back tacking at the start and finish. Also back tack when sewing over the zipper teeth for added strength. Stitch just below the previous stitching across the crown. This way the holding stitch won't show on the right side. Trim off the ends of the zipper and turn right side out. Push out all the curves and each end of the zipper. Pull out the lining and then fold the seam allowances of the opening, match up the folds and edge stitch it closed. At the top of the zipper, where it's really thick through all the layers, the tension of the stitching can look a little bit loose. Double thread your needle and knot at the end. Stitch through the very top edges of the fabric on either side of the zipper and pull the fabric together. Do this a couple of times and finish off with a knot. To bling up my pouch, I've used some fabric glue that's good for gemstones and also dries clear. I just put a small dab in the center of each square and then use tweezers to carefully place down each transparent acrylic gem. Make sure to check out some of my other tutorials. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, take care and happy sewing.